All right, welcome to your first day of playing percussion. This is a very exciting time. You're going to learn a lot of really cool things, and it's going to help you learn not just one instrument, but many instruments down the road. So, we've talked about rhythms already in class, and we're going to keep on learning that because that's basically what percussion is doing a lot of rhythms. But before we begin anything else, we got to talk about these guys here, your drumsticks. A lot of people look at percussion instruments and they think, oh, well, that's got to be the easiest one to play. All you do is you just grab sticks and you bash them around on instruments and it makes sound and we do really cool things. Not true. Well, yeah, all it is really in practice is just taking sticks and hitting them on things. We got to know when to hit them, how hard to hit them, and most importantly, how to use our drumsticks correctly. If we don't use our drumsticks correctly, we could easily break the drumsticks. We could break the instruments. We could even hurt ourselves if we're not careful. So, I'm going to show you my drumsticks. They're a little different than yours, but they all should work well. So, if you look at mine, you'll notice that mine have this branding on it, Goodwood. There are many other different kinds of brands, but most brands are usually put around this area where the middle of them is about a third up from the drumstick. Now that's important because that's where your hand needs to be. So I'm going to start here with my right hand. All we really need is just your thumb and index finger. Have the other drumstick and pinch it right about the middle of that branding. After that, turn your hand over. You're going to take these fingers, hold them like that, and there you go. If you do it right, you should be able to just wiggle the drumstick between your thumb and index finger and use the other three fingers to literally make it bounce up and down. Now, you just need to do that with your left hand. Again, same thing. Thumb, index finger, put these other stick down. Find that point, pinch it right there, wrap your other fingers up, and there you go. So if you've done it correctly, you should have two drumsticks that can easily move back and forth just on these two fingers alone, with the other ones helping support it. Now, when you do play drums, and I'm going to show you this a little bit in just a second, we're only really using our wrist just a little bit to make the drums do what they need to do. Sometimes you might see percussion players and they grip the drumsticks really tight. They don't use their wrist at all. They just go like this and go to town. That's not correct. Not only would it not make your percussion playing sound really good, it'll also hurt your hands, it'll hurt the sticks, it'll hurt everything. We don't like that. Also, some young players like to take their fingers and put them on front like this and just kind of play like this. Again, you're not using your wrist. You don't need to put your fingers up there. The idea, the trick for all instruments is you got to stay nice and relaxed. If you're doing everything right, you shouldn't feel any hurting on your wrist or hands or anything, and it should be a nice, relaxed bouncing movement. Now, that's how you hold the sticks. We're going to do that, and I'm going to move you over to a different area, and I'm going to show you how to position your practice pad. All right, well, I moved you over here to a different corner of my music room to show you how to position your practice pad. Now, this is my practice pad. Again, it's a little different than yours, but they all work kind of the same. Now, the idea is you should take your practice pad and put it down on a flat surface about waist high and just far enough for you to comfortably put your drumsticks on the pad. We don't want it so far out that our hands have to do this. We don't want it so far in that we can barely play it. We also don't want it so high that we're playing up like this or so low that we, fall over like that. Now, I'll admit mine right now is on one of my old pianos that we don't use, but you can use a table, a desk, a flat countertop, anything like that. But it's important that you play in a position where you are standing up, and yes, you do have to stand up to play drums. You can't play sitting down, and that you have your drum pad level, again, waist high and just about that far out. Now, let's take our drumsticks and put them back to the position where they were. Pinch about a third up, wrap the fingers around. Should be able to do this just fine. Now, the first thing that I want us to play is just a nice steady beat, just alternating between your right stick and your left stick. Now, if you're doing it right, all it feels like is just a little bit of a bounce like this. I just use a little bit of wiggle here and a little bit of wiggle on my wrist, and there you go. So, left, right, rest, 2, 3, and left, right, rest, 2, 3, and. Once you think you got that down, you can keep it going in longer stretches like this. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. And you can just keep it going. I just realized right now I've been switching around left and right, but you get the idea. It should go right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. As long as you're switching hands, you'll get the idea. Now again, we don't want to be very stiff and go or have our fingers out and go nice and loose, and just it should be a nice bouncing movement. In fact, if you're not careful, they might start bouncing twice, but that's something we'll talk about next time. So that should be the first thing you do. I'll check on you when I see you next time, and we'll practice that some more. Very excited to have you starting.